Lights up on the storage unit of a maternity ward. The door opens to a midwife who enters, leading a couple who are heavily pregnant. Well, half is, in any case. The couple looks around a disordered room. There are upturned buckets, mops, and endless amounts of random crap everywhere.
I'm afraid this is pretty much all we have for you.
Is this a storage cupboard?
We don't really have any private places on the ward, apart from the rooms.
Well, that was my first choice.
When will our room be available?
The lady we gave your room to is having a Category 1 emergency cesarean, which means it should be completed very quickly. We may not, however, be able to move her for a while after the surgery. We'll give you the next room that becomes available. You're welcome to return to the waiting room if you'd prefer.
We'll stay here, thanks.
I am sorry. Our facilities aren't by any standards amazing. I know this is far from ideal. As soon as a room is free, it's yours. We'll get some painkillers in you.
Thank you.
Me or one of my colleagues will come and check on you shortly. Be careful in here. Try not to touch anything.
The midwife turns to leave.
Can we at least get a chair for Diane?
Oh, sorry, of course.
Now the midwife gets to leave. Miles and Diane look about the room, putting down bags and coats.
It's ridiculous.
I know. I'm sorry, Di, but what can they do? This woman could die if they don't operate on her immediately.
No, not that. I'm not an asshole. It's ridiculous that there isn't any place else.
Do you want to go back out there?
No. If I have to look at the stupid balloons again, I'm going to punch someone.
The balloons?
The women with it's a boy and it's a girl balloons. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
They're probably just having twins.
No, I heard them talking about it. They just don't know the gender. And she's an aunt. Could you imagine if my aunt brought in 2 fucking balloons?
Someone really wants the gender reveal party.
Imagine having that many people desperate to crowd around your vagina. Oh, you're lucky you're even allowed to be here.
Oi.
They're all just so fucking loud.
Diane stops as the door opens once more. The midwife is trying to maneuver a chair through it. Miles goes to help her.
Here you are.
Thank you.
All right, I'll come back soon and check on you.
The midwife leaves.
Here.
Miles helps his wife to the chair.
What can I get you? Slippers? Fluffy socks?
Can I have the grapes?
You're not supposed to eat anything, remember?
What does it matter?
They said it's too late now. It could be harmful. What if you end up needing an emergency cesarean?
Well, somehow I don't think they'll bother with that one for me.
Diane.
Are you kidding me with this?
Miles hesitates, but then gets a Tupperware box out from the duffel bag. He removes the lid and passes it to Diane. From it, she produces a purple bunch of grapes, which slowly, one by one, she begins to consume.
Sorry. You can have whatever you want.
These are seeds.
Oh, I must have gotten the wrong ones.
Oh, it's okay. I don't mind. You're the fuzzy one anyway.
Miles looks around until he spots a rather dusty-looking bucket in the corner. He takes it, flips it, and sits upon the upturned plastic base.
You're right. We can ask for another chair.
Nah, this is cool. Good for my glutes.
Diane continues eating the grapes, now spitting the seeds back into the Tupperware box. She leans back. She sighs. She is in pain.
Why do we even have seedless grapes? Your plants need to grow from seeds, and how they're grapes without them.
It's a genetic defect we cloned. Diverting hormones, chemicals.
They're cloned?
Yeah. You grow them from cutting off the defect and want to make clones. Growing from seeds just makes offspring.
Do wine grapes have seeds?
Yeah, it's probably the only reason seeded grapes still exist.
Miles, now distracted, checks his phone.
My mum's texted.
Oh,
She's offered to come.
that's lovely of her. Think I'd rather not though, if that's okay. You know, the whole crowding around my vagina.
Okay, yeah, of course. She might be helpful though, and she'll probably yell at them about this.
He gestures around at the storage unit accommodating them.
Do you want the stuff to be yelled at?
No.
Why don't you just yell at them?
I don't want to yell at anyone. I'm just saying she might be able to get us somewhere better.
Do you want her to come?
No, I really don't care.
It's fine. You're allowed to need things. If you want your mom here.
No. I was just thinking that she might be helpful. She might, I don't know, some insight.
Well, we're literally on a maternity ward. I don't think our psychologists will tell us anything they want.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever you want.
Sorry. I'm just so tired.
I know you are. I am too, but it's not going to last forever.
Already has. Feels like we live here now.
Maybe we should have gone home first.
No, I'd rather just get on. It's fine, baby. I'm just.
She stops. They stare at each other. And then pain distracts her, and she clutches her stomach.
Oh, shit.
Another one?
I can't even tell at this point. It's constant.
He takes her hand.
I need to get up.
Okay.
Miles helps his wife out of the chair. She groans.
Do you want to walk?
They slowly start to walk around the room. He is supporting her by the arms and haphazardly kicking things out of their path. Diane breathes in and out as slowly as she can.
Fuck this.
You're doing so good.
They reach the room's edge, and Diane flails, grabbing a shelf for support. She keeps breathing until eventually the contraction stops.
You okay?
Fuck this.
Hey,
And then he pulls her into an embrace.
I love you.
I know. What time is it?
Once more, he looks at his phone.
Just past 5. You know what was really weird?
What?
When we drove here, we passed a Hollywood sign.
What do you mean?
Like, in the car, I looked out and on a hill off the intersection, there was a big sign that said Hollywood. Like the real one, but not as big, I think.
What? Why is there a Hollywood sign on a random hill in Dewsbury?
Well, it's not the real sign.
No, of course it's not the real sign. Are we in Hollywood?
Well, no, obviously. Everything's becoming westernized now, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we live in the West.
Okay, Americanized. You know what I mean. Not just here. Eastern places too, like Malaysia and Dubai.
I suppose you should go to Dubai.
What?
You know, the Dubai trip.
I'm not going.
Well, you could now.
I think Simon's doing it.
Yeah, but already you thought, wouldn't they? You're always the one they send.
I'm not doing trips anymore for a while.
I'm saying you could if you wanted to.
I don't want to.
Heck, I could go back to work even if they let me back. They'll probably replace me by now.
I don't think we should discuss all that now.
Why?
Because, well, I suppose. Okay, if you want to discuss work, we can. You know I love you, right?
Love you too. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
This isn't exactly going to plan.
Well, I wouldn't say we had a plan to begin with.
You know, even what I mean. If you were with someone else, like...
Please don't.
Look, I'm just trying to say that I'm sorry.
Don't. I'm sorry too, but you need to understand that neither of us have an ounce of control. Yeah?
Will you pass me the tea?
There is a travel coffee mug by their bags, which is passed between them.
It's gone cold.
I'll go and get you another one.
No, that's okay.
No, I will.
I don't actually want one.
There's a coffee shop right downstairs.
I was just saying I don't actually want tea.
It's really not a problem. I can just run down and get one.
If you want something, that's fine. You can go get one. But I'm good.
No, I'm fine too. I just wanted to get you one. If you want anything else, just say, and I'll get it for you. Anything.
I'm feeling kind of weird.
Probably just labour.
There is a knock, and we see the gentle face of the midwife appear.
Hello, it's me again. How are we doing?
We're okay.
I've just come to have a little chat with you guys about some of the things we can do for you today.
She looks around for a chair.
Hold on.
She exits again. Miles gets up and moves his bucket towards Diane so he can awkwardly sit beside her. The midwife enters, this time with a chair, and sits across from them.
Sorry about that. Lots of hospitals are being equipped with better facilities to accommodate people in your situation. Unfortunately, we are yet to have an upgrade. With stillborn babies, we tend to have a little process once you've given birth. We'll give you lots of time to hold the baby. We'll take pictures. We can do footprints. One of our nurses is an excellent photographer and she'll make you up some really nice photos. We find it tends to be helpful for couples. It gives you memories to hold on to.
Honestly, I don't want to be holding on to memories. I would quite like for this to be over.
That's understandable. But unfortunately, Diane, this isn't going to be over quickly. After you deliver, you'll be here for a while, having blood tests, signing documents. We'll put you in touch with a grief counsellor to help you. But there are still things you'll have to do, like we'll give you a certificate that you'll need in order to register the stillbirth, and you'll have to make funeral arrangements. You might even want to have a post-mortem. We're going to give you as much support as we can so you're not doing this alone. But you will be doing it. I'm afraid this isn't something we can just pretend isn't happening.
Would a postmortem tell us why it died?
More often than not, they don't tell us anything. Most stillborn aren't a result of any external factors.
I'm a sommelier. I'm a wine taster. Obviously, I stopped when I got pregnant, but I've drunk a lot of wine in my life.
Look, the majority of miscarriages are a result of chromosomal abnormalities, and there's nothing you can do about that. It's not because you exercise too much. It's not because you had a glass of wine or used to drink a lot of wine. It's not because you were stressed out. You and your baby have appeared healthy up until this point. It's just one of those things.
Eventually, Diane nods.
Think about the pictures. Lots of couples bring blankets and toys or clothes for taking them home.
Yeah. We brought stuff.
We can photograph your baby with the things you've brought, and then you can keep them afterwards. Maybe put the photos in an album.
Okay.
The midwife gathers herself until...
You said we'll get a certificate?
Yes.
A birth certificate?
No. Babies born sleeping get a certificate of stillbirth.
What? But the baby's still born. I mean, Diane's still giving birth.
Sorry, that's just the way it is. I'll be back to check your progress shortly.
The midwife exits.
Are you okay?
Everything hurts, and I'm all hot and sticky. I got a big knot in my hair.
I think we have a brush.
He rummages inside a bag and tentatively produces a hairbrush.
Do you want me to?
Miles moves to stand behind her chair as she nods. He takes just a second arranging her hair and then starts to brush. He is very, very careful. Suddenly, there's a far-off sound of a baby crying. They freeze. The sound crashes over them. Diane crumples. And eventually, the crying dies away.
I can't do this. You know, when I was a teenager, my parents got me a puppy. And it was the tiniest, fluffiest little thing. And the first night we brought her home, she curled up here. And she slept on my collarbone. And she was just so charismatic and charming. People liked her more than me. This fluffy little ball of will and love. But within weeks, she was sick. Really sick. She stopped eating. We were in and out of vet. I had to feed her with a syringe three times a day. More. I force fed her this thick, green, sludgy stuff. It was like whisked up grass. I had to force it down her throat. But it didn't matter. She wasted away. She was like life itself, and then she was just dying in front of me. One morning I woke up and opened my eyes, and from my bed I could see her body laying under my chest of drawers. Rigid. Or fluff it wilted away like dead flowers. Is it me? Do I make things wilt?
She halfway reaches up her hand to touch him before she gives up. Her arm drops.
What happened? What did I do wrong? Because there's supposed to be a miracle happening right now, but somehow I've managed to fail that. It's the one thing I should be able to do easily because it's what I'm made for, right?
What?
I'm a baby maker. Dolls and period of motherhood have been crammed down my throat since forever. I know that, trust me, you'll change your mind about wanting children while I feel fucking cheated. We didn't even want children, but we decided to keep it, and look what happens. It's pathetic how ironic it is. I'm so tired of life being one long stumble between disasters.
This is awful and will be the worst day of our lives. But we still have a future.
Do we?
What?
I don't feel like a person anymore.
Oh, then I'm not a person anymore either.
Why?
Well, because I always want to be more like you.
She is taken aback. And then a knock at the door. The doctor enters.
Hello guys, would this be an all right time for me to come and chat to you?
Diane and the doctor sit. Miles once again balances on the bucket.
I want to discuss pain relief with you so we can be ready when a room becomes available. Have you already thought about whether you want pain relief?
We've discussed it.
I think in light of the situation, I'm leaning towards an epidural.
All right, that's absolutely fine. Have you talked to a doctor before about an epidural, side effects, risks, procedure? Of course, we'll have an anaesthetist discuss the process fully with you later.
Yeah, we have a while ago. I'm a little concerned though. Diane, I thought we were thinking IV medicine or gas and air.
You don't have to make a decision immediately if you need more time to discuss it.
No, we don't. I want an epidural.
Ah, all right then. Do you have any questions for me about the whole process?
Are you going to do more tests than me? Like a scan? Can you figure out why?
I'm afraid we still haven't discovered any abnormalities. However, this is a positive thing. You haven't had any complications until now. We can't find any problems with the placenta, no birth defects. It's just unfortunate. You got pregnant, which tells us your anatomy is probably normal, so you should be fine getting pregnant again. This absolutely isn't the end of the road for you. You can have another child and you can still be a mother.
I am a mother.
Sorry?
I am a mother. I have a child, don't I? It exists. I'm going to give birth to it, even if you don't think that counts.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean any offense. I was just.
No, please continue. What did you ask my husband again? What kind of drugs I want to put in my body?
I am.
What?
Whatever pain relief you want to use is absolutely up to you. I know this is a very sensitive time. We're all doing the best we can to provide you with the options and the support you need. I'm going to make arrangements for an epidural.
The doctor makes to leave, but not before.
I am deeply sorry for your loss.
Then exits.
They weren't trying to be rude.
Well, they were rude. They said I wasn't a real mother.
It wasn't meant like that.
I don't know. I quite like holding people accountable for their bullshit.
I don't think you should be rude to people who are just trying to do their job.
How would you feel if they said it to you? Although no one ever would. Titles aren't taken away from men. You don't even have to have a child to be a father.
Diane clasps her hands in mock prayer.
But women don't get the equivalent title. And you know, Jesus actually said to never call anyone that. The only father is the one in heaven. Matthew something. No one is going to reduce your fatherhood. Are they, Daddy? You can be any kind of father you want. And this isn't about having a child. It's about this child. This isn't, oh, we fucked up the first pancake, so let's just make another one.
Miles is totally overwhelmed.
All right. I'm sorry. I just don't. I have no idea what to think in this situation. My entire life has collapsed in the last 24 hours.
And mine hasn't.
Yes, I'm sorry. This is hard for me too. We both lost this baby.
I know, don't act like I don't know that.
All right. Fine. You know what? I need to walk around for a minute.
He stops and turns to look at her.
No, go for your walk. Leave. You can walk out of here. You can even leave me if you wanted. Exercise your freedom. I couldn't walk away from this even if I wanted to.
Diane, if I could trade my life, if I could die so that this baby, our baby, could live, I would. In a heartbeat. I would do anything if I could make our baby live. If it meant that you could hold them and watch them grow up, I would do anything.
He goes to her.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I can't give you what you need, but I'm not leaving. Of course I'm not leaving. I'm never leaving. I love you more than... You're the mother of my child. Even if we don't get to take our baby home, I will do anything. I'm sorry.
He puts his head on her stomach, and she wraps her arms around him. They stay like that for a while, intertwined.
It will be okay. Not for a really long time. I think this will be bad for a long time, but one day we'll be retired and we just walk our dogs and read and play card games. And hopefully this will feel so far away.
There's a knock. The midwife enters and they break apart.
Hello. We have a room.
They look at each other. Miles stands up and offers Diane his hand, which she takes, and he helps her up. They gather their things, and Diane has one last look around the room before they all leave. An entire lifetime seems to come and go before anyone comes back. But eventually, Miles enters. He's different now. He's also wearing an oversized jumper we have not seen before, perhaps to cover up a little piece of him that's now gone. As he is walking in, something just outside the door immediately distracts him. He hovers in the doorway for a moment, drops his bag inside the room, and then slowly disappears outside again. A few moments pass, and suddenly Miles is back in the room, now clutched a hold of a pink sparkly balloon. Emblazoned across the bursting plastic, it's a girl! Catching his breath, he strains for footsteps, but when he's sure he's safe, he lets go of the balloon and stares at it floating towards the ceiling. And then he laughs. He giggles to himself, watching the balloon. He looks almost on the verge of tears. Finally, he slumps down upon his upturned bucket. After a while, he reaches into his bag, and from it produces a cheap bottle of dry white wine and a travel coffee mug. He drinks. He drinks. In the bag is a toy animal and a picture book. Miles studies the front of the book for a moment and opens the first page. He reads, out loud.
There once was a little yellow seal who lived in a cosmic zoo, but wandered one day from this kingdom and bade all their friends adieu. Into the world they wandered, and the little yellow seal felt scared, to venture on such a voyage, for which Yellow Seal was most unprepared. But fear is needless and temporary. The little Yellow Seal soon learned. They saw a world beyond zoo they'd never have known, if for this journey they hadn't adjourned. And the seal walked moonbeams of lustre, and skimmed foam of heavenly stars, found a fountain of blue shift seltzer, and drank bubbles the whole way to Mars. So go, little seal, continue. Without you, I won't know what I'll do. But you deserve stardust and seltzer, not to sit betwixt walls in a zoo.
When he finishes, he is still for a while. Then the door explodes open and Miles jumps. The midwife pokes their head in.
Miles, are you all right?
Yeah, I just wanted to.
I just came to find you because I know your wife has refused. I wanted to give you the opportunity, if you wanted to hold her.
The midwife enters the room properly. A swaddled baby in their arms. Miles freezes. And then slowly, he nods. The midwife approaches him.
Why don't you sit?
He sits down on his bucket, and the midwife looks bemused but doesn't question him. She carefully passes him the baby and then moves away. Miles stares down at his child in his arms. He cradles her for a long time.
I love you. I've always loved you.
Suddenly, Diane bursts into the room. She's now wearing a hospital gown. She's out of breath. Her eyes are wild. The doctor follows. We can tell they've been pursuing Diane a while.
Diane?
I couldn't stop her.
Let me hold her. Please let me hold her. Give him my baby.
Diane, what are you doing?
She staggers to Miles, the midwife trying to direct her to the chair, but she half collapses beside the bucket instead. She steadies herself, kneeling on the floor. When she's ready, Miles gives her the baby.
Hello. It's me. I'm your mom. You're real. I thought maybe you weren't all along. And I want you to come home with me, little seal. I made you a room. It's yellow. At the top of the stairs. I'm sorry you never got to cry or grow up. I had a whole army of baby seals at home to help take care of you. I'm sorry. I could have missed you so much. I want to name her.
Okay.
I want to call her Louisa.
Okay.
There is a long moment where Diane holds her daughter. The baby seal she learnt to love more than she knew she could. Then, with one hand, Diane grabs Miles's wrist.
It's all right.
He takes the baby from her and looks to the midwife, who gently approaches him. Painfully, Miles passes over his baby, and the midwife cradles her before walking back to the doctor. They give each other a silent, meaningful look, and then leave. Miles watches them go and then crouches by Diane, who is still on the floor. He wraps his arms around her. They hold each other tight. After a while, They part, and Diane wipes her face.
Come on. Let's go back in. You can hold her again if you want.
Miles helps her up. And then she spots the balloon.
What's that?
Oh, it's for you.
He grabs the string.
I took it.
What?
From the people earlier in the waiting room.
You stole it from them.
Hopefully, they'll have a boy, because this one's for you.
The balloon is passed between them, and they prepare themselves, as they now must do. They exit, Diane holding the string tight in one hand, and Miles in the other. Lights down.